8 minutes past 7. Some people might have been late for work, late for appointments. We know it's getting colder, so people are going to be more fed up as you sit there waiting for your bus. These are just a few of the scenarios thousands of people across the UK they've been experiencing it recently. I have when I've been taking the bus. It's a bit annoying because some of them haven't been turning up. Some of them haven't been going along with the schedule that's been posted online or on the boards as you wait in the bus shelter. Now we know Hull has been hit particularly hard because stagecoach workers are still on strike after 4 weeks of action over pay and conditions, and also East Yorkshire buses are reducing the frequency of their buses because, well, there's a driver shortage out there. Now, at the time, Ben Gilligan from East Yorkshire Buses, he told us about the problems that they were facing.
Doing a lot of work to attract and retain staff within our business. It is a complex issue, and it's not just about pay. There are many other factors that are driving sort of high levels of staff turnover in many sectors at the moment.
That was Ben Gilligan there from East Yorkshire Buses. Now, just yesterday, we were actually talking about the lack of trains. So how much of a problem are the bus driver shortages causing? Now, the Confederation of Passenger Transport, they really want to fix this. They want to get to the bottom of it. They want to get it sorted. So Graham Vidler is their chief executive. Hopefully, he'll have some answers for us. Graham, good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. Lovely to have you on.
Morning,
Graham, tell us, the coach and bus industry having a really, really tricky time, but how difficult is it really? Tell us what you're seeing from the ground.
Well, we're one of a number of sectors at the moment, Kofi, that is facing a shortage of staff. Across the country, there's about a 9% vacancy rate for bus drivers and a 15% vacancy rate for coach drivers. Obviously, that's having an impact on what operators want to do, which is get people where they need to go. And therefore, you're seeing an impact in terms of things like operators having to reduce the number of services they run so that they can make absolutely sure that they deliver the service they promise to their customers.
So what's going on? Why the shortage of drivers? What's going on? What's happened?
Well, there's a couple of main factors behind it, I think, Kofi. Firstly, a number of drivers chose to return to the EU in the wake of Brexit.
Right.
And secondly, during the pandemic, a lot of people, I think, changed their attitude to work, not just bus and coach drivers, but across the economy. And there were lots of people who didn't come back to full-time work after perhaps being on furlough during the pandemic. So we've got all of those impacts. We've got a shortage of labour across the whole economy. And despite the huge efforts that operators are making at the moment, we're just about managing to hold that vacancy rate steady.
And I guess that it's been hard to sort of plug those gaps there, not being able to get enough people coming in or wanting to take the jobs out of there. Why is that? Why do you feel like people aren't filling in these gaps or wanting to become coach drivers, bus drivers?
It's difficult to say, really. There are lots of applicants at the moment. We're losing some through the application process because it takes quite a while to train and qualify to become a driver. And there's lots of staff turnover across the economy in every sector. Lots and lots of people are moving job more frequently than they did in the past. But if any of your listeners want to find out more about what it means to be a bus and coach driver, they can come to our website, thankyouDriver.org, which will tell them more about the role and also identify local vacancies for them.
So I just want to have a look at, your organisation, obviously the Confederation of Passenger Transport. How can you guys help in this situation? What involvement have you got?
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great question. So we're running that campaign called Thank You Driver, as I mentioned just now, Kofi. We also work with our member companies and local authorities to organise training schemes. So we've been doing such schemes in the Tees Valley and West Yorkshire, for example. We work with various parts of government. We work with the Department of Work and Pensions to make sure that driver vacancies are visible in job centres, for example. And we work really closely with the Department for Transport to make sure that the application process is as slick and as speedy as it possibly can be, because we want to get people through the training process as quickly as we possibly can.
Okay. It seems like there's a lot of work to be done. It seems like a lot of work to be done there. So in my head, I'm like, where do you start? But, working with the government, speaking to the government, could that make a difference? And in what ways could they help? Could they influence?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Coffee. It's a big challenge across the country. So there's lots and lots of different things we need to be doing. What can the government do? I think that the first and foremost thing they can do is make sure that the license application process is fit for purpose, so that we don't lose people while they're waiting around for a training opportunity, for example. Secondly, they can help us with promoting bus and coach driving as a career. I think it's really important that people hear about the benefits of being a bus and coach driver and are aware of the opportunities. And thirdly, it may well be necessary to increase the supply of labour in some way, perhaps by adding bus and coach drivers to the occupation list that's eligible to bring workers in from overseas.
What about pay? Is pay a big factor in this situation? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on what the actual rates are, the going rates are at the moment. But do you think it'd be more enticing to people if the pay sort of equated sort of the hours and I guess the job responsibilities?
Yeah, so lots of like lots of other sectors. All of our staff are facing cost of living pressures at the moment. So you're seeing some quite sizable pay increases at the moment. There are many parts of the industry where we're seeing 10% pay increases this year, for example. There are obviously limits to how far we can increase pay. The more we increase pay, the more we have to ask passengers to pay in increased fares, for example. And it isn't just a question of pay. It's also about those broader changes to the economy, which mean that people are just moving jobs now more often than they used to.
Graham, thank you very much for joining us on The Breakfast Show today. Lovely to speak to you. Graham Vidler there from the Confederation of Passenger Transport.